Okay, over here we have a typical household cistern, C-I-S-T-E-R-N. I'll just photograph all this down there for you. Now they're an unusual one. There's not many of them about, but if you can follow me here, we have a little arm here that activates that flap down the side. If we can see that flap opening and closing. Okay, so what we do is, the first thing we do is we decompress this little pin. It's like a split pin. I can spin that round for you. We squash that, we remove that little pin. And by removing that pin, it releases the arm. We'll stop that video there. That's it. Okay, now what we have is, if you can come in over there without shadowing. Okay, come down here and have a look over the top, keeping the light on it. We grab that bracket there, and what we do is we rotate the whole assembly anti-clockwise. Did you hear that click? That there is the lock releasing. Once the lock releases, we lift that up out of situ, lifting that up out of situ. And what we do, once we have got that in hand, is we invert it. And here is, if I can just grab that, it even feels like it's very worn. Now look at all that black coming out onto my fingers. When you see that, that's a sign that this particular seal has deteriorated and no longer provides a seal down there on the seat. The seat is where this seal sits, down there. So what we need to do now is we need to replace that seal. Okay, so now that we have this assembly, the assembly that we just removed in hand, we grab the base of it, this little white fastener. That's actually a fastener, and it's attached to this shaft by a thread. So again, to release this thread, we turn that anti-clockwise, the opposite way to the clock. We remove the fastener, and you can see that the threads are exposed, and in there we have threads. Now with that, we can remove the problematic or defective seal, and it's very, very well worn. That there is not providing a seal, and that there allows the water to run from the cistern continuously down into the toilet bowl. Okay, so what we have is this seal. So if I can just show you, see it's all deteriorated, it's even falling apart in my hand. So with that in hand, what's left of it, you take that down to the hardware store with you. You clean that up, take it down to the hardware store with you, and you compare the new one up against that whilst in hand to make sure that it's the correct one. Okay, so what we have here is the replacement. The old one was compared to it, in particular, this inner diameter. That's the inner diameter where my fingernail is. Then it has a little ridge there. It's about 9 to 10 mil, and it's raised, that little ridge. It's the outer diameter. All those measurements were in sync. Those measurements there on the old one were the same as this new one. Okay, so we're about to fit this new item onto the cistern plunger. So we'll take that retaining cap off. Now when this one is fitted, it fits down to there. Pass that up and over. And then we clamp that onto the raised edge. Screw that back on. The fasten the whole show up. Be careful not to cross thread it. Just, there we go. Screw that down and on. There we have it. We have that little lip around there. Okay, good. So the application, the refitting of that is the reverse of where we were. Keeping in mind, this one here needs to go to the reverse of the other linkage. So the linkage arm that we need to connect stays on this side. So if you can just come down here and look. Okay, this linkage arm, when refitting the actuating unit, the arm we removed initially has to be on that side where the linkage is. So we lower that. If you can come in here for a closer look. We lower that down into there. Now, you've got to be very, very careful to seat this properly. A little bit of coercion. Just be gentle with it. The locators have to be aligned. Okay, so once we've actually seated that down in situ, you'll feel the 4 lock pins lock in. We then rotate that clockwise until you hear it snap into place. And then over here, we commence with our linkage. Just move over here. So that linkage there, if you remember, goes in between that, and then that pin goes back through there. The pin goes back through there. Just press that pin. If you can look over the top here, we've just pressed that pin, coming closer. Press that pin all the way through that linkage. Now we can release that. Okay, so what we're doing now is we've fitted the actuating unit and we're now filling up the cistern. This here is the cistern. That there is the cistern. So we can come back in closer. The water's now filling up. Alright, so what we have here is no leak. You follow that edge line to the rear of the bowl and you can't see any ripplets, no drops whatsoever. And then we proceed to put the top of the cistern lid on, and there you have it. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe to my channel for many other varied aspects in today's age. Thank you. So once you've fitted the cistern, just a supplement here, this one is an older style one. So it's actually a REBA WARE, R-E-B-A-W-A-R-E cistern, made of concrete, glazed concrete. Okay, so if that looks like yours, this may well assist. And the next step here, of course, is that one there's got a thread on it. So it goes down onto there like that. It screws down clockwise. Okay, there we go. Keep screwing that down until it's not too tight, just until it nips up. And that one there, that thread there, slips down, it's a male to female connection, so that male end there goes down into there. So you start screwing that down into there. You screw that up, that end up onto it, because there's like a little stud there, okay? I can't do it with the video. but you start to screw this up onto there, that up onto there.